I wanted to do a Q&A for you all. So I got a request like from, I'm pretty sure it's different people from like different platforms. Welcome to my life as I live it. I'm Army Princess, the mother, wife, and soldier, and I want to share this journey with you. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe now so you don't miss a moment of it. Okay guys, so a couple videos back I posted the misconceptions video and then the get ready with me, the makeup routine video, where I talked about asking me questions for a Q&A. I also posted it on my Instagram. So if you are not following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me now. And I am going to read questions that I was asked on my YouTube as well as questions on my Instagram. And I also shared that Instagram post to my Facebook. And I got a few questions on Facebook as well. So I'm going to answer those questions for you today. This is like my first official Q&A. People like actually requested a Q&A from me. So I was delighted and excited to do it. I didn't really think people cared as much. I didn't really get a whole lot of questions, but the questions that I did get, I'm going to answer for you all today. So first question is, what made you choose the Army out of all branches? And I know I answered this video before on my military 10 for 10 playlist, because this question is asked all the time. So you know what, I'm going to answer the questions that people ask me all the time that may not have been necessarily asked in my Q&A post. So how old was I when I enlisted? I was 21 when I enlisted. The big question, why did I choose Army over all the other branches? I went into this on my military 10 for 10, like I said. So if you want to know the in-depth answer, then please go back and watch that playlist. But basically it boiled down to I was told about the Army because I don't come from an Army place, like an Army hometown. It's not any military there. So I had a friend there when I went away to college in New Orleans, and she told me about the Army because she was in the Army when she got pregnant and she got out. She was like, it was so much fun. She had, you know, all these experiences, and so she was like, when her baby is old enough to talk, then she was gonna go back. And so I didn't think anything of it because Army wasn't even anywhere on my brain at the time. And I went back home from New Orleans, so I did a year there, and then like it was like right before the hurricane, and I went back home and I went to school in Michigan, and I was mad at my boyfriend at the time, and me and him got into it. So I went into the recruiter station, and my recruiter was cute, and he kind of sweet talked me into signing up, but I didn't really have anything to lose anyway. I was like, okay, I'm good. The main reason that I chose Army out of all the other branches, I guess that was like, why did I join Army question, but the main reason why I chose Army out of all the other branches is because the Army is the branch that I knew that I could pick my job. And I didn't realize this until I was talking to the different recruiters and I was looking for a job to do. So I know some of the other branches like Navy and Air Force, I don't know all their rules exactly, but you don't necessarily get to pick your job. There are things that I definitely don't want to do, like optometry. I don't want to be looking in people's eyes. And dental, I don't want to be digging in people's teeth. So I wanted a job that I could pick. Can I please do a story time on relationships, meaning cheating, faithful, and etc. Maybe I guess I could talk about like before I joined the military. So yeah. So stay tuned for a story time for that. Okay, somebody, and I keep getting this question from different people. My questions are, how do they treat you when you're pregnant? How far along do you have to be when they start easing up on you? Like in combat jobs. So when you're pregnant, I guess people just assume what they see on TV. When you're pregnant, you see the doctor and you get what's called a profile. So the profile limits you on things you can and cannot do. Like standing for a certain period of time and doing like a lot of the Army combat training, taking a PT test, staying long hours at work. So your profile dictates what you can and cannot do based on how many weeks pregnant you are. So you see a provider, you get all of the basic, you know, medical optometry care that you would get as if you were a normal civilian person being pregnant. But as far as how they treat you, I mean, I haven't seen where they treat you like bad or any different. Your NCOs and your supervisors are people just like you. So they see a pregnant person, they're gonna be like, you know, you see you got a big belly, sit down. There's a profile that you can't stand up anyway. So it's, I guess I don't know how to answer that question because I don't really understand what you mean. Like, how do they treat you? They treat you like a normal pregnant person. Nobody's gonna like say, oh, you're pregnant, but you still gotta run 5 miles and you still have to do other things you have to do. When you're pregnant, you're pregnant. People really kind of like shy away from you. They like, you pregnant? Okay, you just sit here. At least is what I've seen in my job now. I'm not talking about those combat jobs and those infantry jobs, but I'm in the medical field. When you're pregnant, they kind of like don't want you or the baby to anything to happen to y'all. So they're like, you sit here, we're gonna give you a modified position of your job, like you can sit here and type. I mean, I walk because my job is standing up at the pharmacy window. So I walk and I, you know, interact with patients. But if I feel tired or if I have pains or whatever, then I sit down and nobody's gonna say, well, you can't sit down or you're sitting down too long or whatever. Like I said, I went to the ER from work because I wasn't feeling good and they were like, okay, go, just go. So people don't treat you, I would say, in my opinion, from what I've seen, people don't treat you like, they treat you like a regular, normal person, pregnant person. How far along do you have to be when they start easing up on you? So, like I said, you have a profile that dictates what you can and cannot do when you get to a certain amount of weeks. So they have to go by that profile. Your medical provider has dictated what you can and cannot do. And everybody is on a case-by-case basis. So it's not like a broad brush where everybody's pregnant. I mean, there are some things, everybody's pregnant, you can't take a PT test. But if you are in a high-risk pregnancy or you got things going on, then of course your profile is going to be modified based on what you have going on in your pregnancy. So it's not like, well, once you get to like 30 weeks, they start easing up on you. They go by your profile from day one. The day you find out you're pregnant, you get a profile, and they have to go off of your profile. So I guess it just depends on the person, like your supervisor wise and your leadership. If you got an asshole, then they might try to go hard on you, but you can be like, my profile tell me I can't do that right here. And that's all you got to do. Once you hit them with the profile, they have to go by what your profile says. What is your MOS in the Army and why did you want that job? So my MOS is pharmacy, 68 Quebec. I am a pharmacy technician. I chose pharmacy because at the time, like I said, I was in college and I was going for the military, for the medical field. I was going for nursing, but I didn't realize at the time that you have to already have your nursing degree to come in as a nurse. So I was like, let me get the next best thing. Let me get something medical. And so I literally, when I went to MAPS and I did my ASVAB and I scored for all of these medical things, the first thing they tried to offer me was dental, and I was like, nah. I'm not finna be digging in people nasty teeth, because people don't take care of their teeth. And you get some people come from all walks of life and different backgrounds that ain't never seen a toothbrush, and you have to deal with the retirees, the babies. I just don't want to be dealing in nobody's nasty mouth. So that's not for me. Lab, I don't want to be sticking people. I can't deal with the blood. Ophthalmic, I don't want to be digging in people's eyes. And I was like, well, we have pharmacy open and not a lot of people pick pharmacy, and that's a very good job. I was like, I'll take it. I'll take it. So that's how I ended up with pharmacy. I wanted something medical, and it was like one of the things that was open at the time, and they just made it seem like, you know, nobody really gets this job. This is like, you have to be special to get this job. And I never thought about pharmacy before I joined the military. Thought it'd be kind of cool. So I was like, I'll take it. So that's why I chose pharmacy. What is it like with you with kids? I plan to join, but I have 2 children and it makes me nervous to leave them for 3 months. So that's Giselle in the background as we speak. But I have videos on this as well in my military 10 for 10. But I'm not going to lie, having kids in the military is hard.
I just sitting here looking like a princess.
Whoa, girl, you do look like a princess, and you went and put your princess clothes on. Okay, but mommy not done talking yet. When I get done, then you can talk, okay?
Okay,
princess.
I don't want to talk.
Okay, well, you don't have to talk. So it is hard, but it's doable. It's just hard because you have to take care of more than just yourself. You have to juggle more than just yourself. You're juggling yourself and your child or children if you have more than one, and a spouse if you have a spouse. So, I mean, but they work with you. There's daycares, there's schools on base. Your job knows that you have a child, so they work with you, but I will definitely say it's harder. As far as leaving your child for basic and AIT, I didn't have to deal with that because I had Giselle after I was already in the military for some years. But it's going to be hard. You're going to miss your family. Bring pictures. Put them up in your locker. You can look at them every day. You can write to them. They can write to you. You may get phone calls depending on which basic training you go to. At least once or twice minimum while you're in basic. You'll get phone calls. When you get to AIT, you can have your cell phone back. You can talk to them every night. But basically, basic training goes by pretty darn fast. You're occupied 24 hours of the day, literally. So you're gonna miss your family, you're gonna miss your kids, but it goes by so fast. You'll be busy literally all day, every day, that you can do it. You tough, you be strong, you can get through it. If it's something you really want, you can do the weeks that it takes to get through basic training and see your family after graduation. So somebody put, is there a limit on how long a soldier can be promotable? And this was a good question. I have to look it up because I'm not really sure. Now, I do know that you have to maintain a PT test and a weapons card. Your PT test is usually only good for 1 year. Your weapons card is good for 2 years. So as long as you maintain that, from what I understand and what I know, you can keep your promotable status, you know, for some years. Now, there is what's called RCP, retention control point. So for specialist or sergeant, if you specialist, I don't know, I want to say it's like 7 or 8 years. If you haven't got promoted in 7 or 8 years, the Army's sending you home. For sergeant, if you haven't gotten promoted in 12 years, the Army's going to send you home because you're stagnant. You're not moving up in the ranks, so you need to move out and go home. So I myself have been promotable for, I want to say, at least about going on 4 years now. So I don't really know that whole answer to that question because I haven't looked up the regulation, but I have an active range card and an active PT card, and nobody's come to me yet and said that I am reaching my promotable limit, but I still have another year before I reach my retention control point. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be getting promoted soon. So let's go to Instagram. This is going to be kind of like a long video, I didn't realize. Can you tell me what it's like being pregnant in the military? Your experiences, how you work during it, and such. And if you already made a video about it, let me know. So, my experiences, I'm going to have to do like a whole separate video because this video will be way too long if I tell you about it. But I've had an awesome experience in the military being pregnant. Actually, it's been kind of nice. I don't really have anything to fuss about except for the fact that I'm tired all the time, and I think in our profile we should have built-in naps, and we should be able to work no more than 8 hours in the beginning when you're really, really tired. But that's just me because I'm always tired. Somebody said do a makeup collection video. So I will definitely do a makeup collection video for you all. And I think I'm going to do a room tour because I put that in one of my last videos. How or why did you choose the Army? How did you know it was a sure decision for you and your family? So I already talked about this or answered this question. And I wasn't married and didn't have a kid at the time. How old were you when you knew you wanted to join the military? Like I said, at 21, I joined. That's when I knew. What is the difference between Army National Guard and Reserve benefit-wise? Good question. I don't know all the answers to that question because I'm not Army National Guard. I'm going to refer you to Being Andy Jane for that because I already did a video on the difference in my opinions between Reserve and National Guard benefit-wise, and I still kind of stand by that video. And it wasn't saying that you shouldn't do National Guard. It was just saying that National Guard and Army is not the same. So I get a lot of questions that people say, well, I want to go active, but I'm scared, or I don't want to go right now, so I think I'll just do National Guard. And that was my video response. Don't do National Guard because you want to go active, but you don't want to go active. It's not the same. It's not the same experiences. It's not the same benefits. If you want to go National Guard for X, Y, and Z reason, go ahead and go. If you want to go Navy, if you want to go Air Force, if you want to go Marines, like people be like, I'm joining the Marines, or I want to do Navy, go for it. Like, I'm not going to tell you not to do a certain branch because we're all brothers and sisters in arms. But I just don't think National Guard and active Army is the same, not career-wise, like the same, what's the word? Like, you're going to have the same effect, the same feeling, the same, you're going to get the same things out of it, because it's not the same, and you're not going to get the same effect. But the differences, I don't know, and I haven't looked them up really, because like I said, I'm not National Guard. So go check her out. I will post her channel link below. She is, I think she's National Guard, and she's active National Guard. So she's always, like right now, she's active National Guard. She's always on orders for active status. So she would be the one to ask about the benefits. Now, the benefit, and then like reserves, I'm not reserves. I really don't know too much about reserves. So, what does the 111 PT test count against you during basic training, or how does it count against you? And when this person asked me, I was like, what is that? Because I don't know what that is. So apparently it's like when you first come in, and I remember doing it now that somebody explained it in my Instagram comments. When you come in, I think at MEPS actually, or reception. So reception is where you go before you get to basic training, but it's like at your basic training place, you do a 111 PT test. 1 minute of push-ups, 1 minute of sit-ups, and I'm pretty sure it's a 1 mile run. And that PT test means absolutely nothing. So if you did very, very good on that one, then kudos to you, but it doesn't mean nothing, and it's not the real thing. When you get in, you're going to have to do the 2-2-2 PT test. 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, and a 2 mile run. You can look up the standards on that online, but the 111 don't mean nothing. I got a surgery, and I found out that I have a small malformation on my rib cage, and it was affecting anything that surrounded it. It was an outpatient op. The incision was only 2 inches. Can I get a waiver for AV malformation removal? I'm not really sure what that is. But for those type of questions, I always say consult your local recruiter, because they are the ones that handle waivers for people coming in. They will let you know exactly if something you can get a waiver for, or is something you can't get a waiver for. And I'm not really sure, because I don't deal with waivers. I don't deal with those things that it takes to put a person in the military, as far as, you know, if they had surgery, or if they had a broken bone, or if they had asthma. Like I had asthma, and I had bronchitis, and I had an eye surgery, and I had an ear surgery before I came in. Can I still join? I'm not sure. I just watched a video that said the Army is trying to get all, like 80,000 people this year, and they're giving out waivers like cotton candy left and right. So you may be able to get a waiver. I just don't know, because I never had to get a waiver to come in, and I don't know what the requirements are for a waiver, especially surgical waivers. So contact your recruiter and ask them, and they will let you know. Hey, what's up? You look like a perfect fit for my squad. DM me. I also get a lot of DMs. Thank you. I'm glad I'm a perfect fit for your squad. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I had one on Facebook, and it was my friend, and she asked me about, do I miss my friends and family from hometown sometimes? And yes, I do. Like in the beginning, and this is like what I said about the basic training video. In the beginning, I missed my friends and family all the time, because they were all I knew before I joined the military when I came in. And so I missed them, and I'm not going to say I don't miss them anymore, because I still miss them. There are some of my best friends that I had from growing up as a child. But, you know, when you kind of like around different people, and you see different people every day, you don't see those group of people every day, you don't think about them as often. Now, we do have social media now, so I see them on Facebook every day, and every time they post, and I comment, and they comment me, and we, you know, we have each other's friends. We still write each other through text on the cell phone, but yes, I do miss you all. I do, but it's like I'm so busy and I work hard every day that I don't think about it every day. It's like that out of sight, out of mind. So I do miss you all, and that's why I try to make time to go home at least once a year or every other year to visit my friends and family, because I do miss you guys. But I don't see you guys every day, and when I'm in work and I'm engulfed in my everyday life, I'm like, I got my blinders on. I'm focused. So I don't want to make it seem like I don't care. I don't miss my friends at home. I do. I just out of sight, out of mind type of thing. So I know I ain't the only one. But this is it, you guys. This kind of turned into a long video, and I had more questions than I thought I did. Actually, when I went back on my Instagram, people had added questions since the last time I looked at that post. So yeah, some of those were new questions that I'm just not seeing for the very first time. But I thank you all for asking me those questions. And if anybody has any other questions for me, definitely comment below in this video. Or you can always email me, because I leave my email address below. I'll post it here. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.